now, which is the job market. And we're joined by someone from Indeed.com. They do the job postings. And so they have a unique collection of data, certainly, about how things are going in Quebec and Canada. Brendon Bernard is a senior economist at Indeed.com. Hello.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us. So last year, immigrants were most affected by the Quebec job market here. 67,000 jobs created in Quebec in 2023. Wages going up a little bit as well. Is this what you're seeing in your data as well?
There are a lot of things going on in the job market, a lot of moving parts, because one thing you mentioned, Canada has been experiencing surging population growth over the past 2 years or so. And so this has an impact on the job numbers just because we've got more people in the labor force, which means more workers available to work. And so the job numbers have been going up, but they haven't been matching the pace of overall population growth. And so when we look at kind of other measures of the labor market, like the unemployment rate, we see that things have weakened a bit, though they're still in solid shape. And this is both in Canada and Quebec, where starting in early 2023, Canadian unemployment rate, the Quebec unemployment rate were near record lows, in some cases record lows. They've come up a bit since then, but still pretty low. So most recent numbers we have for Canada, 5.8%. In Quebec, it's 4.7%. So a bit of a stronger situation in Quebec. Overall, those are pretty low numbers, which suggest Canadians are working, but just the situation isn't quite as strong as it was last year.
And in terms of looking ahead, I mean, we are seeing, I guess, some positive movement. We're seeing also conflicting reports about some sectors having, I guess, job market issues and others aren't. Is it much easier to get a job in certain sectors than others?
Yeah, and so it definitely is, and this is nothing new. So, for instance, if you have skills and background in the healthcare field, there's a job for you. There are very few unemployed nurses, for instance, out there, and that's not a new phenomenon. Same thing I'd say with engineering, also a great field. We always see just lots of job openings relative to applicants. In the kind of broader sense, though, like with those unemployment rate numbers, things have kind of softened over the past year or two. Coming out of the first wave of the pandemic, we saw Canada really shift to a job seekers market. Employers across the economy were looking for workers. And so basically, job seekers had their pick of options in whatever sector they wanted. Those job posting trends have come back down to earth. And so it's much more balanced between employers and job seekers. And so not quite as easy to find the role just in most areas of the economy.
Based on what you're seeing on your job postings, which industries would you avoid if you could?
Well, and so this is a bit of a shift, and I wouldn't necessarily say avoid, but tech has been a darling of the Canadian job market for a long time. But we've seen a switch in job market conditions over the past year or two where it really now is not a job seekers market. While layoffs in the tech sector have caught headlines, I wouldn't say that's been the main trend. It's more so hiring freezes. And so tech still pays quite well above the average salary. And so these are good jobs if you can get them. But just as a job seeker, it's not quite the same bonanza as it was before, after we had like about 10 years of just an excellent tech job market in Canada.
And looking further ahead, years to come now, Canada is going to need to, I suppose, have more jobs available for everyone coming in. Which sectors do you expect to grow substantially in the long term?
Well, this is a tough one because year to year things change so much. We've got that we're dealing with this interest rate cycle right now, which impacts certain sectors more than others. If the Canadian population is going to continue to grow, we don't know how fast it's going to grow, but it's going to grow. I think that right there puts the focus on construction because people need places to live. In a lot of parts of Canada, we don't have enough homes for people, and so I see the trades, especially the skilled trades, as a great area to enter. It's also an area that you don't have to worry, at least right now, we don't have to worry as much about AI disrupting. So there's options there, and like I mentioned earlier, healthcare is a great field to look for a job right now. I think that's going to continue into the future. We've got demographic changes, population aging. That's going to naturally create demand for healthcare workers. Where I think it's not an easy job, but for people with the skills and desire to enter the field, there's going to be opportunities.
I haven't dusted off my CV in like 15 years. What's a good CV look like these days?
That's a good question. Not exactly my area of expertise, but I think some broad principles. Less is more. Concise, point first writing and are always key things. And I would also say use the tools that are available for you online. Use AI to help write a resume, or at least edit the document, and just advice on things like that. I think there are lots of tools that are available at our disposal to kind of like help make these job search processes easier these days, which is really helpful.
Just don't use AI in the interview, which is going on now. If you saw those viral videos,
we still need humans checking things right now. So AI is a helpful and kind of, I think, first step, and then some sober second thought and rational look over by a human is always necessary. But that's kind of like one aspect of the technology in general, that AI isn't just replacing humans; it's also complementing us, and that might actually be a bigger effect of the technology, using it as a tool to kind of help us improve at our jobs, and the job search process is just one of those areas like that.
Brendon Bernard, senior economist at Indeed.com, the job search portal. Thanks very much.
Thanks for having me.
Take care.